Motivation is unreliable when it is your primary fuel source for transformation. Now, don't get me wrong, I love motivation and it's useful when it appears, but it is too inconsistent to build your life's transformation around, especially in working to gain momentum. The stronger move is building systems, standards, identity, and new habits. This is going to help you to be able to take action even when motivation is absent. So, one thing I'm focusing on as I'm filming every day and I'm learning that motivation itself, it's not reliable. It's like some days I feel clear, some days I feel inspired, some days I feel like there's something meaningful to say, but other days I don't. I kind of just want to chill. But what I am learning on a deeper level is that if I only were to create when I feel motivated, and if I was only going to do the right thing when I felt like it, my future is going to be controlled by my mood, and I'm not going to show up to the best of my abilities and to the best of my potential. And for me, building a new standard where that's not acceptable has really been transformational. But it comes from the inside that I don't think motivation is bad. I just know it's not what a strong foundation is going to be built off when transforming your life, building a new identity. I don't think motivation is bad. I just think it's not going to make a strong foundation when aiming to transform your life and be a better man. It comes and it goes. So, wanting to build something real, I've realized that whether it's building my stronger body, building a great brand or business, and a stronger, more meaningful life, I need something deeper than motivation. And that's what this video is about today. So welcome to the channel. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe and add a like, because we give insights on how to build momentum, how to get unstuck, and really how to take control of your life and lead that to a form of meaningful transformation so that you go from point A to point Z, wherever it is you want to be. That's where we're going to help you focus on, and you can do it here for free. We will have consultations and coaching and group sessions later on, but for now, I want to just give you all the tools that you need to gain momentum and to gain control. The motivation itself is emotional weather. It comes and it goes, and you can't exactly always predict it. By focusing on something more meaningful than motivation, you give yourself a new sense of reliability and more consistency, because motivation changes. Energy changes, even your confidence can change. Some days you might wake up and the conditions are perfect. Other days you don't feel motivated. You might just feel like everything is heavier and you are not in the game. But if your actions always depend on the perfect conditions, you're going to be inconsistent and not make as much progress as you would be able to otherwise. Standards are what's going to help us to become stronger than our feelings and not have to rely on the shift of moods, that inconsistency of motivation. At some point, the question can't be, do I feel like doing this? Instead, a more meaningful question is going to be, what standard am I living by? Because if the standard is real, then you don't need to renegotiate with yourself every day. Instead, it becomes a part of who you are, whether that's your new routine, your habits, or just your intuition guiding you. I would say it's all of the above. We're working on building systems here so that you don't have to think about it. You don't have to wait and see how you feel. You already have done that work ahead of time, so you know all you have to do is show up for yourself. That's what's going to get the future moving. That's what's going to build momentum and help you create progress for yourself in a real, meaningful, and lasting way. Systems are what's going to help us to reduce that mental battle. Another way to think of systems is like a process, a ritual, or a routine for yourself where you don't have to think about it every day. Kind of like a morning routine when you're getting ready for your day. You don't always have to think about brushing your teeth, taking a shower, and everything else you may do, skincare and so forth. You already have it down. And part of that was because of how many reps you've already put into it, but also because you've learned it, whether from family or from yourself and trial and error. That system is in place so you can ideally breeze through your mornings. And that's what the focus is here. I'm understanding as I go through my journey of filming every day. I'd love to share more behind the scenes with you guys as we continue on this journey. But for now, that's one of the lessons I'm taking away, is that you have to have that system in place, and you get it by getting the reps and the feedback, but also by dedicating some time to plan for it. And that's what we're doing here. So when you're still deciding, the more you leave things vague, the more you may allow yourself to overthink. I know that happens to me, so I have to focus. You want to remove as much friction as possible and just make it as easy as you opening a door and saying, I'm here, I'm showing up, let's get this done. Now, you don't need to always ask yourself, what am I going to do? What's the next step? Because the system is going to be there in place, and you just start going, taking the action and focusing on new and bigger things. So, is the system going to be important? Yes. Is it something that's going to change over time? Yes. The system is not about rigidity. It's more about flexibility, allowing your mind to decrease some of the mental bandwidth in the transformation process by allowing you not to be able to have to think about it anymore. The system's there, the routine is there, you just have to show up, you just have to get the work done, and that's going to allow you to free up some mental space to focus on new things, such as innovation, or what are some new lessons you can share, some new insights you can act on. That's going to help you to make the progress and develop to the next level. Now, I also want to talk about how it's easier to make decisions when you have the system in place. For example, with me in filming, in my system, I can just show up, I can record, and then I edit and publish, and I learn along the way. So identity is going to be in part in connection, almost like it has to be in harmony with the new system that we're putting into place. So when you're deciding who you are, every action might feel like a debate, but the identity that you decide on will get stronger, and actions will become simpler as you begin to clarify exactly who you are, where you're going, and what you want to be. A creator creates, a man trains who wants to train, and a person who is a builder is going to continue to create new things and build their life. Now, the same should go for you, whatever it's going to be. If you truly want to paint, we have to find a system to help you remove the friction so you can focus on painting. If you want to write, we have to do the same thing. We'll create a routine, a system, and a process so that you can focus on the most meaningful actions, which will be writing. And that will go for any niche, any idea, or any habit that you're trying to build, whether it's being a content creator, someone who's focusing on growing a business, a musician, an educator, so on and so forth. This really applies universally. As long as we are able to get a system into our lives, it's going to make the process of transformation so much easier. Now, that's going to come into play by having that routine, but also focusing on constructing our new identity, allowing ourselves the ability to question, is who I've been who I want to be? And if it isn't, what parts of myself can I replace with new action? And one thing you can do is increase the momentum by taking daily action, getting your reps in, but also by raising your standards. Give yourself a somewhat minimum requirement of creative output every day. Tell yourself, I have to write at least 3 pages a day. I have to film at least once a day. I have to paint at least once a day. I have to work on my business at least once a day. Because as you go on your journey, you'll find that the most meaningful actions that we can take in our day have to be planned out. We have to make space for it. That's the only way we can really show up consistently in our lives. Otherwise, you're just going to leave your future in the hands of your own feelings and subject to inconsistent, fluctuating levels of motivation. We don't want to do that because it's not going to be consistent. It's almost like trying to plant a new tree or a new herb, but you're in a desert. You have the water that you need to give it every day, but you're choosing not to. Instead, you're just going to hope that rain will come. Again, it's possible for the plant to thrive that way and to grow, maybe, but it's much more likely that it's going to shrivel up and not grow at all. So the point being here is focus on what we can control, and that's both establishing a system for our transformation as well as redefining our identity here and now. Cutting out the old habits, the old limitations, and even our own self-limiting beliefs that we may have put on ourselves in the past. We have to remove them so that we become lighter, and it's less friction for us to actually do what really matters, and that's taking a meaningful action here. So for me, filming every day is not about motivation. It's about removing daily negotiation and excuses so that I don't wait to be inspired, and I instead show up where I can, where I have the most control by being present and choosing to be consistent enough so that inspiration is no longer required. It's a nice addition, but it's not essential for the transformation. Now, if you're waiting for motivation, ideally you want to ask yourself, what can you build instead? Can you build a schedule for yourself? Can you build a new system where you have a routine that prioritizes 3 daily actions like we've talked about before? Can you raise your standards in certain areas of your life? Your fitness, your mindset, your health, even in your own relationships? Now, this is going to be a question that will come back to you again and again, because a system will make action easier when your emotions are not cooperating. It's almost like you have a new default mode, not one that procrastinates or overthinks, but one that prioritizes action, showing up consistently, and honoring the promises you've made for yourself. I'd rather be so much more that person than the former, and that's what we're striving to build here. That's what this video is about, and hopefully you have some insight on just how important that is. Now, I would say this, I'm not anti-motivation. As I mentioned, I'll take it when it shows up, as it is a nice addition, but I don't want to depend on it. I want to become someone who is self-reliant even outside of motivation. I want my life to be built on something more stable than a feeling. Motivation is useful when it shows up, but discipline is what carries you when it doesn't. So for you, the viewer, ask yourself, what system can you put in place so that you can do the most meaningful actions every day for yourself? Whether it's something really small, 5-10 minutes, or something more dedicated like a whole hour. There are minimums that will allow you to make progress every day, but you have to find out what that is for yourself, and it all starts by taking time to ask that question and then practicing it, experimenting with it, getting some feedback, and then we look at it again. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Again, if you do, feel free to subscribe and leave a like, as well as a comment below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. As always, good things to you and yours. Much love and many blessings. Take care.